bacon text and true. So now we see that, okay, these are the three items that configure your connection. The first one is how to send data to the server. And of course, you have get, and you also have some other options, but I won't confuse you right now. Pretty much any option that you can have in PHP, um, you have your options there. But right now, we're just, using basic get. So, if you're thinking like, post or anything, don't even worry about that right now. The second parameter is where to send data. So of course we aren't working with the PHP file right now that's going to, generate this cool crap. We will later on, but right now we're just working with a plain text file. So the last parameter is if it's true, we want it to handle asynchronously. And asynchronously pretty much means, of course, at the same time. So that's the basics of the open function. Remember, it doesn't connect with the server. We are not connected with the server yet. It just says, okay, whenever we're ready to connect, use these options. So like I said, poorly named function, whoever created AJAX, get your crap together. So the next thing we want to do is we want to call XML on ready state change. Now this actually isn't a function, it's just, oops, actually did that wrong. It isn't a function, it's just a property. Now we need to set this property equal to whatever function is actually going to handle the response. And the cool thing about AJAX is that there is no built-in function because every response is unique. So we're going to have to build that function on our own later on. It's going to be the last function that we build. So I'm just going to name mine handle server response. So basically, whenever we create a function handle server response, you need to tell AJAX, okay, whenever, and this is, you need to set this property in every single program. It's basically saying, anytime something happens in your communication or your conversation with the server, anytime something changes, that I want you to call this function. And we'll talk about the different states right now, and then you're going to understand why this is called a ready state change. But just the basics, this is what you have to remember. Set this equal to the function that gets called anytime your state is changed. Boom, roasted. So the last thing that we actually need to do is we need to call one more function, and that is send. And go ahead and type null right here. Alright, so this function right here is the function that sends the request, or basically this function is the function that communicates or connects with the server. So the key things that I want to point out here is you need to make sure you have your onReady state change before this. A lot of people, communicate with the server and then they write after this what happens whenever we get a response back, but you always want your onReady state change set up before this, and this is why. Whenever the server responds, then you already need to make sure that you are ready to handle the response properly. So in every AJAX program, configure your connection, set up, basically how you want to communicate with the server, where you want to send that data to, or basically what file you're going to be working with, and then you're going to say, okay, whenever I get a response from the server, this is how I'm going to handle it. And then once everything is set up just like you need it to, you can go ahead and send your request to the server, or pretty much begin communication. So that's basically all the process function is going to do. And now that we have, established, hopefully, a communication with the server, what we want to do now, what we want to do now is we want to handle the server response. So in the next tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to code this last function, handle server response. And after this, you guys are going to be pros of AJAX. And this is pretty much it's going to be the most complex function, but it's going to give you guys the greatest understanding of why AJAX programs work the way that they do. So I'm excited. You guys should be too. It's going to be awesome. I'll see you then.